after that announcement, there wasn't a great deal of reaction from the oil price. Has this already been priced in by markets to a large extent?
I think so. I think it's been clear for a while that this is how things are going to happen. I think from a week or 10 days ago, we knew that OPEC members are already agreed. The Russians were playing a bit hard to get, but it was pretty clear that they would agree also. One thing which happened is because the prices were in the 60, 65 range, everybody knew that if they don't agree on a strategy, the prices will drop below 60, and nobody wanted that. So pretty much the whole situation was priced in.
I just want to refer to a chart that on the Bloomberg here, you won't be able to see it, but it does show that the United States is now the world's largest oil producer. So does this really limit the impact of what OPEC can achieve with these production cuts?
Well, there are two different interpretations. The U.S. production being very large, and this year growing by maybe 1.2 million barrels per day make a big difference. And please remember, the big chunk of the U.S. growth is going to come in July and August. And this is one of the reasons that OPEC had to agree with non-OPEC to roll over, because they expected a chunk coming in with the new pipelines coming in the U.S. But at the end of the day, the U.S. has no spare capacity. If there is something happens in the world tomorrow, the U.S. cannot just ramp up. Spare capacity is only in 4 countries, mostly in Saudi Arabia, also in UAE, in Kuwait, and in Russia. So these are the 4 which can impact the market because they can go up and down. The U.S. already producing at maximum because of the way the private sector works. So U.S. is important, but not that critical.
So when it comes to the trajectory for prices, especially through year-end, what will have a bigger impact? Will it be the supply outlook as we continue to see these Middle East tensions or shale? And what about demand outlook as well?
No, well, all of them in a way. But I mean, the U.S. shale production is already all priced in. We know what's going to come. We know the pipeline is going to get connected by end of July, early August, and a few 100,000 barrels of extra production comes in. It's all already priced in. If the Saudis and the Russians did not agree to keep the production lower, then the prices would have dropped a lot. So still, the power to decide the price of oil is with OPEC. And I hear people say, well, OPEC is finished. OPEC is not finished. OPEC is still very powerful. And if it were not for OPEC, the price of oil could go to $80, $90 and then drop to $40 and seesaw up and down. So they're keeping it within a band. So in that structure, OPEC plays a key role in balancing. What happens with geopolitics, it depends on Mr. Trump and the Ayatollah in Iran. That could send the prices up much higher, but you need to have a firefight. Threats have been priced in. You need to have some serious firefight and some casualties. Then the price of oil will go up on the geopolitical level. But on the supply-demand basis, we're talking about 65 to 75 in the second half of 2019.
OPEC Plus was supposed to be this short-term fixed mechanism in order to drain some excess supplies, but it seems that the agreement keeps getting rolled over. So does OPEC Plus at this point have an exit strategy?
Well, you asked another question before, which I didn't answer. The demand has become much weaker. Not really as weak as many people expect, but the demand growth every year from 1.4, 1.5 million. This year is more like 1 million, 1.1 million barrels per day. So the lower demand has meant that instead of the market balancing in end of May or to end of June, it's going to balance in end of July to middle of August. Once the balance comes in, and what is the meaning of the balance? The balance means that the inventories reach a 5-year average. That, I am sure, will be reached in about 6 weeks at the most. Once you reach to that level, then the prices start going up. Then OPEC perhaps has to put some more volume in to make sure it doesn't go up too high. There seems to be a Trump ceiling of $70 a barrel, and Putin has said that his preference is $60, $65. So once we begin to go above 70, then OPEC is very aware that they don't want to let it go higher, and they would be producing a little bit higher than they agreed to keep the price in that band.